How's it going, everybody? Just want to do an update on my PX9 Palmetto AR15 and 9mm. I got some parts for it. Not enough to make it complete yet. I just did order some stuff online, so it didn't even ship yet because I ordered it Saturday. So they're closed, of course. So I got a couple stuff ordered. So whenever that comes, maybe towards the end of the week. But anyways, I also want to do an update on my VZ52. It was basically a Czechoslovakian rifle, if you haven't seen the other video, in 7.62 by 45. I ended up getting rid of it, excuse me, at a gun show just this weekend. It just sat there. I couldn't find ammo for it. It was very expensive and rare to find ammo for it. I tried the chamber insert to make it go, or to shoot 7.62 by 39. I couldn't get it to work. I kind of messed up the insert trying to get it to work. So I didn't want to put any more money into that I already had into it, and trying to get it to, shoot 7.62 by 39. So I just unloaded it and just got rid of it. Took whatever I can kind of get out of it. I took a little bit of a loss, but I mean, it wasn't a drastic loss. But me, I just, once I got rid of it, I felt great. Just to, it's out of my mind now. So I used the funds and bought some stuff for this. I couldn't really find a lot at the gun show for this. They kind of had stuff, but it wasn't stuff that I needed for the 9mm build. So I ended up going to a couple stores that day, getting parts. The one store, so I got the SB4 brace in OD green, and then I know the other one I did the SB3, but I says, I don't want to do the 4 on this one, just to kind of give it the classic kind of stock look. I also got the Magpul OD green, the Mo Plus grip, so it's of course got the compartment to put stuff in. Well, it doesn't have like the different covers, or like for an oil bottle. Maybe I'll get that down the road or something. But anyways, it's like has a rubber overmold on it. And then I also got the M-Lock AFG in OD green. Excuse me. And I got the buffer tube. Let's see, Timber Creek mil-spec buffer tube. And then the lower parts kit. This is basically everything minus the trigger guard, trigger, hammer, or disconnector. But it came with all the springs for the disconnector and the hammer and everything. But it just did not come with an actual trigger, hammer, and disconnector. But that was from CAC Industries. Just a basic build lower parts kit. So somebody I knew had a spare hammer and trigger. I told him I didn't need the spring because I already had a couple extra. So, but the trigger and hammer, I do not know the manufacturer. It was just extra parts that he had, so he just gave them to me. So who knows what the brand is? I don't know. Then there's the hammer, and then I put the springs that I had from the CAC kit on there. Of course, the mag release I do not need, and the spring and all that, that's extra parts now. Because this lower, of course, since it takes clock mags, it has its own built-in mag release that was installed, and also the ejector. One thing I did use from it was the paddle, like for the bolt release. Even though it's probably not going to be useful, because I don't think, because it doesn't have a last round bolt hole pin feature for this. But at least it fills in that space and kind of makes it look good, I guess. And then of course the trigger and hammer spring, and also now I got a spare disconnector spring, because the hammer or the trigger he gave me has the spring in it already. So those are basically some of the parts. Well, these are I'll be using, and then these will be extra parts. But other than that, yeah, so I'm waiting on a disconnector. I had to order that online because he didn't have a spare one, so I can't even put the trigger parts in until I get that. But other than that, I was able to get the safety in, and also the push pins for the upper, and also the plunger I was able to use from that kit, so I could put my the buffer tube on. And so I also got the castle nut from him. He had a spare castle nut, and I got that staked. And the end plate, I went with a Bravo machine quick detach, or QD mount end plate. So I got the Bravo company end plate on there. And I did make a mistake, so I gotta wait till Palmetto opens on Monday. I did order the Magpul Oldie green trigger guard, but I forgot that this has a milled trigger guard that I cannot obviously replace, so that I will have to return. But one of the things I got from them, I got the Palmetto State Armory bolt carrier group for the 9mm, Palmetto State Armory charging handle, just a plain generic one. I don't need no fancy charging handles. They're just too expensive for what they are. Obviously I ordered the trigger group, or the trigger guard, which that's going to have to get sent back. And then I ordered a disconnector from there. The disconnector, forget the brand. It wasn't a PSA brand. I forget the brand, but anyways, so I got that. And I was going to get the upper from PSA, so that hopefully it would kind of match their lower a little bit better. But unfortunately, when I went to go order it with the trigger guard and or the all those parts, they had sold out of it. So I found another company, and I got the slab side 9mm upper, and they ended up having it a lot cheaper. It was they had it reduced temporarily to $49.99. So I got that upper coming whenever it ships and everything. So also from the store I got was this LBE buffer. So it says it's for 9mm. So the only thing I do need is a spring still for that. Somebody told me that the one that I bought the trigger off of, he built multiple pistols in 9mm, 40, and 45. He says you can use a standard AR spring. He has extra, he says, but I don't know if those will work. I heard part of the people say that you got to use a specific spring for that, so not sure. So I still do need to figure that out once you get closer to putting everything together. So then the other thing I got from him was this barrel. He ended up going with a different barrel length, I guess, a little bit longer. So he had this one. He said he never used it. It's a Faxon barrel, 9mm. And also he gave me this flash can, or like booster or blaster, or whatever you call them, and then a stainless steel crush washer. So he said this barrel was 5.5 inches long. I took the device off and measured it from the top of the threads to back here, and it was basically exactly at 6 inches. So I know the right way is to have this inside of an upper and stick either a dowel rod or something down there on a closed bolt, and then measure it that way. But of course I got to wait for the upper in the bolt carrier group in order to really specifically actually get the right measurement of this barrel. I did go on Faxon's website, and all the pistol barrels that I could find that they had on their website were either 8 inch or longer. So obviously this is at least 6 inches, so they must either discontinue this barrel length or something. I'm not sure. But so it's at least looking like about a 6-inch barrel on this. So now the fun part is trying to find a handguard that's going to work with it. I did find one that was actually really cheap, free float, and it was a 6.5 inch. So I'm trying to at least get it to where this device sticks out just a little bit. I don't want it to obviously fully cover the muzzle device, and I don't want it to be way back here either. so that's the plan. So yeah, mostly once all those parts ship and come, I can pretty much put it together. Like I said, the only thing I really need is the handguard to have the barrel permanently attached. Yeah, so I got the barrel, the crush washer, the muzzle device, the trigger and the hammer, and the castle nut. I bought off him from that guy that I know for 40 bucks, or no, 45 bucks for all of it. So, I mean, even for the barrel alone is probably easily 100 bucks. So I think I got a really, really good deal on that. It's a pretty nice barrel. But anyway, so yeah, and the OD green Magpul sights, I did order 2. That is coming from Amazon because, of course, I don't like the MBUS 3 sights. So I went with the older Gen 2, and nobody has the 2s anymore since they're basically discontinued. So Amazon still had the OD green ones, so I was able to get the set of those. So those should be here Monday. But other than that, eventually a red dot, and we'll go from there. Yeah, so once all those parts come and I get a handguard, and I put the rest together in the spring, it should be a functioning firearm, and I'm going to take it to the range and try to get her sighted in and everything and see how it goes. But so yeah, it's going to do the OD green theme again. I was going to do the stealth gray, but it was hard finding some of the stuff for it, and you know, in the end I kind of really like the OD green a little bit better. You know, so I was like, I'll just go with that again. But well, anyways, that's it. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, and thanks for watching.